I wanted to ask about this, what you said about having a cure for addiction, because your 98% program suggests that 98% of people get cured. Is that the idea?
Correct.
And that program is sort of immersive program with therapy but in other words, it's not a drug-based program. There's no medical intervention to cure the addiction.
No, it's that there's another myth as well, Mike, that you can cure a drug addiction with another drug. No, it's called a taper to lessen the pain. But if you're still on a taper 12 months after, you're a drug addict. You're still taking drugs. And
A taper, sorry, a taper meaning like if you're a cocaine addict, for example, you just start taking a little bit less cocaine, or is it a completely different drug?
there's lots of medications. Let's say heroin, the Suboxone, and you take the Suboxone because it's supposed to be less damaging and than heroin, but it's just as hard to get off. So most people that go on Suboxone stay on Suboxone. So a taper is to lessen the pain and the frequency when you're coming off a hardcore like crack back into normal life. And after a certain period, short period, like a month, 2 months, 3 months at the most, you completely taper off and come off the Suboxone. So then you're drug free. But the pharmaceutical companies don't want you to understand that. They said, well, if you go on our Suboxone because we're earning trillions and trillions off you, then you're clean and sober. And no, you're not. I don't know what. I never got that. It's like treating my alcoholism without whiskey, giving me wine instead. And on what level is that? Does that make any sense? But you can imagine the chairman of a pharmaceutical company, Purdue, let's say, and they sat there on the board and somebody said, we are losing billions of dollars on the streets because of heroin's flooded America. And we are losing trillions even. And somebody said, well, what if we make like a substance that is like heroin, but we can put you on. And then if we need to, well, I don't know what we're going to call it. Well, let's call it Suboxone. And then we can convince people because it's a medical drug, a pharmaceutical drug, that it's safe to take and you're no longer a drug dealer. And the world bought it.
I can totally buy that that's the case. Uh, this idea of taking other drugs to get off drugs is a pretty old idea, even with smoking, right? There was the nicotine patches. Is that sort of the
Yes,
same idea?
yes, it is. Yeah. I mean, you go back and you do some research, which I don't think's ever been done around patches to smoking. I don't know. But from the people I know that went smoking and went on patches, went back to smoking. So it's not the substance, it's the brain and the patterns and the self-sabotage pathways and the behavior around that is what drives us back every single time.